Well, good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Prophetic Edge. I'm excited to be with you this morning. Last night I spent some time with the Screaming Eagles, our advanced mentoring group. Exciting time and people that are just leaning on the heart of God, hungry in the spirit. They're from the tribe of hungry. They're pressing into God for the fresh, for the new, for the exciting things of the moment. But I'm glad to be here with you this morning on the Prophetic Edge. You know, last night was a good night and a tough night. I thank you for joining us, Christine. I want to invite a few people on before I get started. If you're out there, let me know you're out there and where you're from. You know, we have a number of different online mentoring groups, and some that we do even in person, some that we do here in Florida, some when we travel. But we do mentoring on the prophetic ministry, inner healing, deliverance, spiritual warfare, leadership, intercession, a number of different categories and places that we bring together leadership teams. Sometimes pastors or leaders will bring their leadership team here to us in Florida for an advance. I didn't say retreat, I said in advance. They'll come and spend a few days here in beautiful sunny Florida with us and have an intense season of mentoring and walking into the vision God has for them. We just had Jennifer Belmore and her team here from out in the Midwest, her and her husband, Tim, just a wonderful couple. And I mean, their lives were touched, transformed, and impact us as well here. So we have the facilities here to do that. A place that you can come and really advance, get together, unite your heart together again as you're going forward in the new season. If you'd like information on that, please feel free to get a hold of us. In case you don't have my contact information, it's bro.russ@eagleworldwide.com. Now, we just finished Winter Camp 2023. Refresh, revive, and restore. And the Lord gave us just what we said. That is the Lord's heart for this year, to refresh us, to revive us, to restore us, to launch us into this brand new destiny moment and season. And he did exactly that. We had a tremendous camp. We had one of the most prophetic winter camps we have ever had, and seeing signs and wonders and miracles, life-changing experiences. What an awesome time it was in the spirit to be in the glory and to see God speaking to his people, healing his people, setting his people free. I mean, that's what it's really about. Spirit-led ministry, spirit-driven ministry. We saw the gifts of the Spirit and the power of God. Wonderful worship, and his presence was awesome in that place. That's what it's really all about. And then right in the midst of this, we went out and participated in our food distribution drive. Those from our local church here at the dwelling place and the ministry here in the U.S. and touched people who were hurt, broken, wounded, supplied them with groceries and other needs and encouragement and strength. You know, God's doing something wonderful. He's doing something new. Linda, thank you for joining us. Jared from Pakistan, thank you for joining us. Brother Mahesh, thank you for joining us. It's so good to have you online with us. I know you joined from a lot of different places. You know, right now, as I mentioned, I'm in the midst of, right in the middle of our Screaming Eagles mentoring group on advanced leadership and advanced prophetic. Right now, we're taking applications for the next class that's going to start around June or July. So if you're interested in advanced membering, being part of the Screaming Eagles, the next one we're going to do is on spiritual warfare, deliverance, intercession, inner healing. Just a tremendous time and moment of how to fight back, how to do war, how to teach our hands to war, how to war in the spirit, war in the natural, what our weapons of warfare really are. Back to the foundational truths of the light, the power, the presence, the glory of God. You know, the blood of the Lamb and the power of our word, the power of our testimony, the power of the cross. So it's going to be a time to get ready to do battle. because we're in the midst of a great battle. We're in the midst of a season where victory is being revealed to us, but we're going to have to contend for it. Yes, we're overcomers, so we're going to have to overcome a few things in this season, and that's what this is going to be about. Screaming eagles, the overcomers, the ones that are able to do battle, do war, that are ready to overcome, to pursue, and to recover all. If you're one of them, send in information that you're interested in. We'll send you back a package to join us with Screaming Eagles that are going to be starting in late spring. Again, it's bro.russ@eagleworldwide.com. Also, if you have a testimony from winter camp these next couple of weeks, we've gotten so many testimonies of the wonderful and powerful presence of God, people that were healed, people that were delivered, people that were heard specific words with their addresses and names and numbers and birth dates. It was an incredible moment of God revealing the gifts of the Spirit, but they were so accurate that it became a sign for us, and the presence of God was beautiful. If you were touched during winter camp, come on and email me out your testimony. Be one of them ones that show back up and say, hey, God did that for me. Just send me your testimony. We're going to post some of them online, share some of them in our church. It's bro.russ@eagleworldwide.com. Now, I want to start to share. Oh, you thought I already did. No, I was just saying, hi, how you doing? What are you up to this morning, man? I'm telling you, the Prophetic Edge, we're getting ready to go. Are you ready to be a streaming eagle out there, Linda? I want to tell you what, somebody just posted a beautiful picture from my brother Nesbitt of the Screaming Eagles. I mean, I get some eagle stuff. This was a real nice one now. Last night was a little bit of a tough night for me. I had a wonderful time with the Screaming Eagles as we talked about prophecy and the gift of prophecy and the power of prophecy, the realm and the protocol of prophecy, the gifts of the Spirit in operation. Some wonderful things that we talked about, but then, of course, I got offline and I got on the TV, and it was State of the Union night, which it used to be a real exciting time that you could hear the State of the Union. You were excited about what was God. I mean, it's so nice to live in a society where the people are relatively free and informed. And I mean, I grew up in an America that was wonderful. I'm patriotic right to the very core. But unfortunately, last night was a tough night because I'm also a lover of truth. And the State of the Union is strong. Hello? Somebody better check that, brother. You know what? I pray for my leaders. I pray for my president. I want him to do good because I want my nation to do good. I want strong choices and wonderful decisions. And I want people to work in unity in government for the people that they're called to serve. So I pray for him. I have nothing against him, but my goodness, it seemed like almost one lie after another, and the biggest and the worst was the State of the Union is strong. I mean, if you told that to a jackass, he'd kick your brains in. Come on, the State of the Union is not strong. All you got to do is look around. I want to pray for my leaders, but I refuse to buy the lies and drink the Kool-Aid. Hello? I want the truth. It's only the truth that's going to make us a better and a greater nation. It's to get back to the truth and the moral condition and the moral core values that we have about how we do business and how we do business as a government for the people, of the people, by the people. We have lots of major issues right now that are facing the United States of America worldwide that need to be addressed, and they need to be discussed, and they need to be discussed truthfully, and we have problems that need to be resolved. Not just talking about them, but taking action on behalf of the American people, the business community, and others around the world that are our allies. We have to know who our allies are so that we can do business with our allies and not strengthen our enemies, and come into agreement with our enemies and give space to our enemies, but to gather together with our allies and begin to stand in battle. It's time to circle the wagons. We're under attack. Let's try not to be stupid here. You know what? There's one thing that it's time for us to be real. It's time for us to open up the eyes of our understanding and see the truth. We have lots of major issues that we're faced with that need action. Our borders are vulnerable. There's a great lack of national security. I mean, it's just a balloon. Just a balloon. That was a surveillance balloon. Well, it was only for weather things. Whether it was for weather or whether it was for something else, they violated our airspace. And we allowed it. And we allowed it for a long way and a long time. We don't know how much information was gathered, what went back. There's no way for us to really figure that out. That should have been taken before it ever entered U.S. airspace. But the moment that it did, it should have been taken out. We cannot tolerate. That espionage is not just happening, and that breach of national security is not just happening with a balloon. It's also happening on the internet. It's also happening on the borders, especially on the southern border, where they're coming in from all over the world. It's happening in our institutions. There's a breach of security. That's the first thing that the president needs to take. And in every oath of every office is to uphold the laws of the nation and provide for national security. And the American people right now do not feel secure around the world. Crime is rampant in our cities. Our young people and our elderly don't feel comfortable enough to walk outside, to take a walk to the store at night. I grew up in America completely different. We can do better than we're doing right now. But in order for that to happen, we're going to have to take action. Not just conversation, but legitimate action. We need the solution makers. There's a lot of wonderful people out there that are talented, that have a great deal of ability, but unfortunately, because of the atmosphere of the political system in this hour and what they'd have to go through as a family, they're not even willing to serve. But they would like to. You and I have to change. This change that's going to have to happen in America has to be grassroots. It has to start with the people. We have to get an understanding of what's going on in the world around us. We also have to understand our system so we can adequately participate in it. I want you to know that this morning, the Prophetic Edge this is not a political mumbo-jumbo thing. I'm just talking about some issues that we're facing, and I'm going to get into something prophetic. And you know, the gospel I preach is the gospel of the kingdom, not a political gospel, but it includes all of that. It includes everything. We need to take our rightful place. We need to participate in the system. We need to do the things that we're supposed to do to stand up for freedom and free enterprise around the world. Every one of us have an obligation and responsibility as citizens so that we can allow freedom to come to our children and our children's children. Just do our part. It doesn't mean we have to go into politics or to be a politician or go to school for that. It means that we have to participate. We have to participate in the system, and in each area of the 7 mountains, we have to be active participators, bringing the voice, the hand, and the heart of God into every arena of our society so that we can have a transformational impact. It's about you and I taking our rightful place and taking the right perspective of it. Crime is rampant in the streets. There's a fear for young children and babies and for our elderly to walk the streets today. It's not fair. It's not right. Something has to be done. Law and order needs to come back to our country. We need to support the police around the world. We need to support and make sure that our government supports the military. I have a lot of military men and women that I'm involved with and communicate with, and most of them feel unwanted. Most of them feel mistreated. Most of them feel like second-class citizens, like they don't matter, being forced to do things they'd rather not do. Hey, they were the pride of America. They were the pride of this generation. They had loyalty and faithfulness to the nation, and they step in, and what happens here? What is going on? We're a patriotic nation, and you know what? The people who serve, we need to honor them. We need to treat them properly. When something happens to them, we need to take care of them. We need to get back to really what's going on. We need to tap into the vast reservoir of national resources like oil and gas and all the other natural resources. We in America are loaded with natural resources. God has blessed America. We got like 100-year reserves and stuff like that. Hey, guess what? Now's the time. Dig in. Now's the time to go for those resources. Bring our resources to the table so that we can control the pricing, so that we can control the atmosphere, so that we can be a world leader once again that walks in the forefront and can lead with morality, that can lead the right way. We're looking at buying supplies from people who are our enemies. We're buying supplies from people who are using child slave labor. This is nonsense. It's craziness. We need to get back to America strong, American first. Because until we're strong, we can't help anybody else. A weak America can't help the rest of the free world. You know what? When an airplane has gone down, the first thing that happens is those oxygen masks fall down. They don't tell you to go help somebody else. They say to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Otherwise, you'll die trying to help somebody else. America needs to put on its oxygen mask. We need to take care of business so that we can be a world leader. If we're weak, the rest of the free world is weak. Let's start to use some sense. American jobs, reestablishing us as a true world leader, leading by example with integrity, with honesty, with truthfulness, with loyalty to others that we partner with around the world, dealing with the national security issues that we're faced with, dealing with the terrible discord and disunity that's being released in the nation. That's just to name a few things. Now I got that out of my system. And now I want to really do a little business with you about something else. I had a dream last night. And you know, I live by dreams and visions and revelation knowledge. I make my decisions and my choices based on revelation, especially the big choices in my life of where I go, what I do, when I move. I like to wait for revelation and confirmation. And the Bible tells us that in a dream, in a vision of the night, God speaks unto man. It says in Job 33:14 through 19 in the King James Version, for God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men and the slumberings upon the bed, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. He keepeth his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. Man, he is chastened also with pain upon his bed, and a multitude of his bones with strong pain. God's trying to deal with us and deal with us in the day and in the night. He wants to speak us. He wants to shake us. He doesn't speak once but twice, and even more, he contends with man so that we can understand him. And he has spoken to men and women in dreams and visions from the very beginning of time. And he's still speaking, and he's still trying to get our attention, and he's still trying now to make us understand his purpose and his will, those that are ours, those that are his, that we can walk together, that we can walk in unity, that we can walk in harmony, that we can hear him. And I'm not talking about mystical mumbo jumbo and crystal balls. I'm talking about the Lord is our shepherd, and I'm one of his sheep, and his sheep hear his voice. But I have to listen, I have to contend, and I have to obey. It's very important. And it's very important that I understand. It also says in Job 33:23 and 24, it says, if there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness, then he is gracious unto him and said, deliver him from going down to the pit, for I have found a ransom. I want to share with you a dream I had last night, because I believe the season that we're in is refresh, revive, restore. I believe that the season and the year that we're in is the year of the comeback, that it's a year of recompense and a year of reward, a year for the things that we missed and the things that we lost to be restored, to be recovered. What a tremendous and wonderful year we're in. This is the dream that I had last night. I was on a trip and I was with some people. Some were from ministry, some were back from my school days, some were in business, including some people now that were in our churches, and a man who was a principal, who became a principal, that was one of my classmates in school. And it seemed like we were all gathering together in a place that actually used to belong to me, but we were renting that place, and we were renting it and all staying there just as temporary quarters. I looked around the place, and the place was in rough condition. It had been left alone a little bit. The carpet was worn. There were some other things on the floor. The new owner was renting it to us to stay at for a reunion. Well, at that moment, I didn't want to tell many people that it was mine because it looked pretty rough, like it wasn't taken care of. You know what? The church is in a little rough condition today. It's been left in a place where it's not being cared for. With the vision, with the hope of God, the family of God is struggling right now. And God is trying to restore us and restore it to its original beauty. We were in that place, and we were going to have a fun trip. We were actually going to go and visit a casino that had all kinds of amusements in it, an amusement park. And we were going to take a bus from this place, and it seemed like we were staying in that old building that needed repaired. The new owner was giving it to us at a good deal. That night, we started to gamble a little bit with one another, just some friendly game. And not that I gamble anymore, but gambling in the dream could be me taking a chance, taking a risk, trying to get back something, whatever. But I didn't win one hand that whole night. And all the money that I had brought with me for the vacation for the weekend was almost all gone. I had a Canadian 50 and two 20s. That's $90 Canadian in there. And then I had about $80, all 20s in US. So that has to do 90 as the number for the fullness of the harvest, and 80 is the number for taking off the old and putting on the new. Now, as I take a look through there and look through my wallet, I'm feeling really, I don't have enough now for my whole vacation. I lost that. I was a little bit embarrassed and I was upset because a lot of the folks, so I didn't win one hand. Then they left, but I stayed behind with a couple of friends in the office, and we were sleeping, and it seemed like the landlord had stayed there with us, and he had an accountant in the back room. And that accountant was going through old affairs and old things that were there, trying to organize it because they had bought the building from us and now they were clearing out areas. As I was walking around, I hadn't said much to anyone about the building. The carpet was worn, the underfloor, the subfloor, you could see the dents in it where it needed some work and it had gotten soft and sunken in. But the carpet covered it a little bit. Now, the new owner's accountant was in the back room and cleaning up these things. And he found a box and he called out my name. And he said, "Hey, come and see this." He said, "Is this your box?" And he had a big box. It was like 4 by 4. And he was trying to hold it 4 feet high, cardboard. I looked inside and it was full of bills, statements, with checks attached to it. I said, oh my. And I looked, and the person that paid the bill, their name and address was on, and it was made out to Eagle, and it had the U.S. address and the Canadian address. I said, wow, way to go. I said, yeah, that's mine. Where'd you find it? He said, I found it in the back room. He said, you must have lost it. Like, I was overjoyed by the discovery. It must have been lost or misplaced. And now I was overflowing at a time when I had taken some risks, stepped out, ventured out, maybe lost something that was important and didn't feel like I had what was necessary in the moment. We found a box with all my resources that were missing that were stolen, my old accounts, and they had checks and cash attached to them. And they had my name on it and the name of the person. And I believe God is going to bring together in this season a season of great recovery, restoration, recompense, reward, restoration of relationships and things that were taken before and people coming back. You're going to recover natural resources, physical resources, relational resources, health resources. You're going to recover all. What a great season. They represented power, energy, restoration, and recovery. He could barely manage the box. The box was so big, but I was like up over top of it, man. I was digging in there all excited. I hope you're excited right now because that's the season we're stepping into. Press into it right now. This is the year of recovery. This is the year of the comeback. This is the year of recompense, reward. Pursue and recover all. This is the time now. Be refreshed, be revived, be restored. Press into God. Press into the intimacy of God. God's coming with signs, wonders, and miracles. God is coming in the fullness of his power and his glory. Let's you and I step up to the plate, step in, step out. Let's be bold. Let's be courageous in this season and take back everything that's been stolen. Take back what belongs to us. Hey, and let's in this season be sober. Glory to God. Let's be sober, hear the truth and know the truth. Let's begin to stand up, to be bold and courageous, to stand up for truth, to stand up and declare the truth that is in God, that is in Christ, and the way we're supposed to live. Now's the time to go back to those core values that you and I know are based in the Word of God. The Judeo-Christian values that this nation was established on. Let's stand up for what's ours. Let's stand up for freedom and free enterprise. Let's recover all. I love you. You have a wonderful day now. God bless you. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. We're doing a lot of traveling. I'm all excited about an upcoming wedding with Daniel Soto. I'm going to be in Costa Rica. I'm going to be in Virginia at the Calvary Pentecostal Campground Winter Camp. Make sure you get there. God bless you now and have an awesome day. Bye-bye now.